beautiful beans, it's Rebecca, the Vegan Pixie Warrior. Thanks for watching. In today's video I'm going to be talking about an experience of my Liberation Pledge, a really positive one actually. I hope it will inspire and encourage others of you that have been considering the pledge for a while to take that leap and take the pledge. So, my husband and I went to see my brother and sister-in-law and nephews up in Cheshire for, I think it was around my birthday, like November time. And I explained to them about the pledge, although they had seen a post that I put on Facebook explaining that I'd taken the pledge. But I explained them over the phone. I talked to them about it and told them why it was important to me and explained why I would feel uncomfortable if they were eating animals. We did say that, you know, we'd be happy to cook because they're not experienced in vegan cuisine. So we said while we were staying there, we'd happily cook the whole weekend and we'll bring food and we'll supply all the food and drink so that it makes it easier for them because they've got 2 young children. So they've got like an 8-year-old son and a 2-year-old son now, but he was 1 at the time. So they were happy with it. They were fine. When we got to their home, it was great actually. My brother had covered up all the meat in the fridge with foil because he was concerned that if I saw any animals in their fridge, any animal products in their fridge, that it would upset me. And I just thought that was so sweet and so supportive and so thoughtful, and oh my god, I love him so much for doing that. I'm gonna cry because of that. It was not what I was expecting. All I was expecting was them to eat vegan with us the weekend, and to go to those lengths to make sure that his big sister is not upset was just awesome. So it's great. They've got like their oldest son he was 7 at the time. He's amazing. This kid is so like confident and outspoken, and I just love him to bits. And he was asking lots of questions. And he was also a bit, you know, like kids are, they're fussy about food. It's like, oh, it's vegan. I don't want it. It's going to be yuck. It's going to be yucky. And then we like saying, well, you know, the fruit that you're eating now, that's vegan. He was like, what? He was really surprised. And we gave him vegan ice cream, and we didn't tell him it was vegan. He was just eating it. In fact, most of the weekend we didn't tell him he was eating vegan food until after he'd eaten it. And my sister-in-law even told him a little white lie, going, well, Rebecca and Dan are not eating vegan this weekend, they're eating animals because it just makes it easier for them, which was a complete lie. But a little white lie to a 7-year-old is not too bad. So when we tell them about Father Christmas and the tooth fairies, so those are way bigger lies if you ask me. So anyway, every time Jaden finished his food, we told him that he'd been eating vegan, and his little face was just like, it was like Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone. What? I'm eating vegan. Oh. And we told him the ice cream was vegan. We gave him some Walls ice cream, and he was like, oh, it's the best ice cream I've ever had. And he was amazing. And then one morning he went in and he said to his mum that he wanted a glass of milk. So his mum reminded him that Auntie Becca and Uncle Dan didn't eat animals and weren't happy about people eating animals in front of them. Well, me, not Dan. He's fine, he hasn't taken the pledge. And I said, no, that's okay, he can have a glass of milk because we're just chilling, we're not eating at a table or anything, and it's in his own home. It's difficult to explain to a child about the Liberation Pledge, I think, without going into too much graphic detail, if that makes sense. It's one thing I have to kind of get my head around. So his reaction to his mum was like, oh, I won't have any cow's milk then because I don't want to upset my Auntie Becca. He then came into the front room and asked me why I don't drink milk. So I explained to him that the mummies have their calves, and their calves can't drink the mummy's milk, so they get taken away. And I tried to put it in, you know, not fluff it up, but tried to be as delicate with it as I could, because I think explaining to him that the baby gets taken away from their mother when they're born was enough to make him think about it and understand it a bit more. He also reacted that was awful and it was horrible and how could they do that, and he never knew that had happened. And why would he? He's 7. I mean, I know there are some vegan 7-year-olds out there that do know what happened, but if there are any people out there that have kids that are vegan, how did you explain to your kids that they were vegan? That would be great to hear. Can you let me know in the comments, because I'd really like the advice. But anyway, We went out for lunch on the last day before we were leaving and found this amazing pub just near, I think it was near Hertford in Cheshire, and they had these great vegan burgers. Again, we played a trick on my nephew. So all the burgers had a flag in them saying plant-based, and they'd taken the flag out for my nephew so he didn't know, and he was eating the burger and he was like, "Ooh, this is really nice. I couldn't have had a vegan burger. Like I like to eat the cow." And that wasn't him trying to wind me up. That was just an innocent 7-year-old, I think. And then he finished the burger. Guess what, Jaden? The burger was vegan. So he was again shocked, in awe, loved it, thought it was fantastic, and said he'd be happy to try some more vegan food. He really enjoyed what he ate. And again, taking the Liberation Pledge, I'm going to keep coming back to this on every video, but it's really, really important. It opens up the table to conversation. My brother spent most of the first evening asking me questions about veganism, asking me about the Liberation Pledge and why I'd taken it. And hopefully it's sown some seeds. They're not vegan yet, but I was more comfortable to talk about it when there's not animals in front of me being eaten. And that's the other thing to consider. The non-vegans are more comfortable to talk about it when there aren't animals in front of them and they've got a mouthful of animal thinking, and I'm talking to them about chicks getting ground up in a meat grinder. I'm talking to them about pigs dying in a gas chamber. When you've got a mouthful of food that are these animals that the vegans describing to them, it doesn't make them feel very comfortable. It puts up awkwardness. And I'm not saying they shouldn't feel awkward and uncomfortable about it. Of course they should feel awkward and uncomfortable about eating animals. But there are times and places for that outreach conversation. And at the table, when there are animals being served, it doesn't work. They put up blocks, they put up barriers, they don't want to talk about it. It brings an atmosphere and a strain to the relationship at that table and that experience. Whereas if there's plants on the table, you can talk about it freely, and the difference in the energy around the table when you're talking about veganism and there's a vegan meal in front of you, I swear to you, it's incredible. It's amazing. If I'd have known that it would be this easy, I would have taken the Liberation Pledge when I first went vegan. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I promise you. If you have had any experiences of the Liberation Pledge like this, and you do agree that it opens up that conversation, please put a comment below. Let people know that are watching this video that haven't taken the pledge. Also, if you've been inspired by this video to take the Liberation Pledge, then please, again, put a comment below. I'll pop a link in the description to the Liberation Pledge website. I'll also pop a link where you can purchase one of these forks if you want to symbolise that you've taken the pledge. And massive thank you to my patrons. Massive thank you to my patrons that support me on my Patreon page. If you do like the video and you want to support me in making more content inspiring others to take the pledge or other vegans to get active, then please check out the link below in my description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.